All right, good morning, everyone. I'll call this meeting to order. First item is any pecuniary interest to be disclosed by any of the members?
No.
No, none.
All right, hearing none, then we'll move on to the next item, which is the minutes from the previous meeting. I assume everyone has looked at the minutes. Is there any changes or objections or comments, additions, anyone wishes to make to the minutes from the last meeting?
No. Not for me.
No, none.
All right, then I'll look for a motion to approve the minutes from August 27th.
I can.
Dave and seconder.
Second that, yeah.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. So the minutes are approved. Now we'll move on to the meat of the agenda, which is the application that we're dealing with today.
Okay, thank you, Chairman Semple, committee members, and anyone joining us today on our online public meeting. This is the public meeting for minor variance application MV-07-20, and the committee has before them planning report number 2020-25. The application applies to lands located at 2489 Sherbrooke Street West, page 10 of the agenda. The property has approximately 212 meters of frontage on Sherbrooke Street West, which is considered to be the front lot line, has a depth north to south of approximately 705 meters, and a total lot area of 30 hectares. The property also abuts Maple Hill Drive, which is considered the exterior lot line. The application was applied for by Wendy Lee, was received by the township on July 16th, 2020, and deemed complete on August 11th, 2020. If you can go to the next page, please, Alana. The subject property is an existing farm parcel developed with a single detached dwelling, detached garage, outdoor pool, shed, and several barns. The owners of the property wish to demolish the existing detached garage and replace it with a larger detached garage in the same location. If you could go to page 12. The existing garage is considered to be legal non-conforming. The property is zoned rural, natural linkage, and natural core, and is within the source water protection overlay. A portion of the subject property is also within the floodplain overlay as it applies to Jackson Creek. The existing buildings are located outside of the floodplain and within the rural zone, which permits a single detached dwelling, accessory buildings, and agricultural uses. For accessory uses, buildings and structures, the bylaw requires a minimum exterior side yard setback of 6 meters, provided that no accessory building or structure may be located in the yard projecting from any wall of the principal building facing the exterior side lot line. If you could go to the next page, please, Alana. So this illustrates that while the proposed garage will meet the minimum exterior side yard setback, a minor variance is required to permit the garage to be constructed in that yellow area, which is the yard projecting from the wall of the single detached dwelling, which faces Maple Hill Drive. And again, Maple Hill Drive is the exterior side lot line. The variance is required to allow the garage to be constructed in this yard, and all other standard regulations of the rural, natural linkage, and natural core zones will apply to the subject property. Notice of the application was circulated by first-class prepaid mail to all assessed persons within 60 meters of the subject lands, to all required ministries and agencies, and to all township department directors. Signs were posted on the subject property on the Sherbrooke Street West and Maple Hill Drive frontages, and the notice of public meeting was posted on the township website. The notice complies with the requirements of the Planning Act. To date, the planning department has not received any written comments about the proposed variance from members of the public. Township staff have had no objections to the application. Peterborough Public Health had no objection to the application, but have requested a condition that the owner apply and be approved for an existing sewage system permit prior to the issuance of a building permit. The Tonabee Region Conservation Authority commented that the application is consistent with section 3.1 of the provincial policy statement, which references natural hazards. Orca indicated that although the proposed development is within 120 meters of a key hydrological feature, which is Jackson Creek, given the pre-developed state of the property, a hydrological evaluation is not required. The development is outside of any natural heritage feature and its associated buffer, and therefore Orca indicated that they are satisfied that the proposed development is also consistent with sections 2.1 and 2.2 of the provincial policy statement. Those sections reference natural heritage and water, and that it also conforms to sections 4.2.3 and 4.2.4 of the growth plan, which reference the natural heritage system and lands adjacent to key hydrologic features and key natural heritage features. The portion of the subject property that the development is proposed within is outside of the area regulated under the authority's development and interference with wetlands and alterations to shorelines and watercourses regulations, and therefore permits from Orca will not be required for the proposed development. Finally, the property is within a vulnerable area as shown on Schedule C and D in the township's official plan as it relates to the Trent Source Protection Plan. This is an area where Clean Water Act policies apply in relation to source water protection. Development applications on properties that are wholly or partially within identified vulnerable areas must comply and must be accompanied by a notice issued by the risk management official under section 59, subsection 2 of the Clean Water Act. The required section 59 notice was received from the risk management official on August 13th, 2020. As presented to you today, Planning Report 2020-25 provides an analysis of the proposal and concludes that the application satisfies Section 45 of the Planning Act, which outlines the 4 tasks the application must have regard to in order for the committee to authorize a minor variance from the provisions of the bylaw. Report 2020-25 recommends that the Committee of Adjustment review and consider all verbal and written comments received regarding the application, and that the committee approve application minor variance -07-20 with the condition that the owner applies and is approved for an existing sewage system permit prior to the issuance of a building permit if required. So with that, I will turn the application back to you, Chairman Semple, for any questions from the committee and the public.
All right. Do any of the members have any questions or comments regarding the application?
One question I had, Christina, the yellow box, how wide is it?
Oh,
Side
okay.
yard.
If you give me 1 second, I can take a measurement.
Looks like it's about 25 meters. Judging by the legend at the bottom of the map.
I'm on it. Yeah, about 20 to 25 meters, yes.
And so on the drawing that he said that the 18 meters is what the garage is going to be apart from the house. So it's within, so it's inside that yellow. That's the issue, right?
That's the issue. The issue is because we have the policy, so it can meet the required setback from the Maple Hill
Right.
lot line, but because it's in that yellow area, it needs relief from the zoning bylaw. So even though there's an existing garage in that area, that existing garage has a legal non-conforming status. It was built before the bylaw that's in place today. So now the new bylaw has this new policy in order to replace that, they would have to comply with that policy, and unfortunately they can't. So they're requesting the minor variance. Yeah.
So it's like it's 18 compared to 25, or in that range, 20, 25. So it's close, but it's still within the yellow.
Exactly. So the new building will be about 15 meters, setback 15 meters. This isn't a legal plan of survey, but essentially the new building will be set back 15 meters from the exterior side lot line, where the requirement is only 16 or 6 meters. So it's set back farther actually than it needs to be and meets that setback requirement. It's only because it's in this yellow shaded area, which is the yard projecting from the side of the house towards the building.
Right.
The policy is sort of to keep accessory structures out of the yards that project towards a road, is essentially the reasoning behind that policy. So because it's falling within the yellow area, it needs the
Yeah.
minor variance, but it does meet the required setback distance,
Right.
or it will meet, yeah.
Okay. I guess the other choice would have been to go farther to the west and then be outside the yellow, but
Yeah, they could
obviously
have,
as a-
correct. They could have located it anywhere outside of that yellow area, to the north, in this case, or to the south. They would have had to cut down some trees in order to do that. What they're wanting to do is essentially replace it on the same footprint. And again, because if they were building the garage exactly the same size, they would have enjoyed a continued legal non-conforming status, and the exterior side yard location wouldn't have been an issue. But because the garage will be increased in size slightly, then it loses its non-conforming status.
Okay.
Christina,
Okay,
did you get any inquiries or opposition from any of the residents on Maple Hill at all?
No, through you, Chairman Simple, there were no inquiries from anyone. I did speak with the landowner, who said he had talked to his neighbors in the area, and they were actually happy to see the existing garage is unsafe. And so they're happy to know that it's being torn down and replaced with a newer structure.
Any other questions, comments from the members?
No.
I just have one question or clarification, I guess. Is it because it is a detached garage and not a attached garage that this becomes an issue?
Yes, that's correct. That's exactly what it is.
All right.
Yeah.
So if they were adding an attached garage, they would still need a permit, I suppose, but would they need a variance?
Well, it would depend on what their proposal looked like, depending on what the size of the garage is. So they would for sure also need a building permit, and we would examine, if it was attached, we would examine to make sure that it also met the provisions. I haven't looked at that scenario to see what it might look like, but
But at least go ahead.
no, go ahead.
At least in principle, then an attached garage could be within that yellow area.
I believe it could be. Yes, this is a policy that is specific to detached accessory structures. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I just found that a little confusing, so I just
Mhm.
wanted some clarification on that. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, any other comments, questions from the committee?
No.
I don't know if anyone from the public has joined us, but if there are any questions from members of the public, I'd like to open it to that.
We don't have anybody.
All right, and we'll move on to consideration of the application if there are no other questions or comments. If anyone would like to make a motion as to what we would do with this application.
Yeah, I will motion to approve the application with the condition that they apply for and are approved for the sewage permit.
I need a seconder.
Yeah.
Dave, all in favor? Unanimous. The application is passed. And that brings us to the end of the agenda, essentially. If there are no other questions. Did you want to deal with the next meeting now or after we adjourn?
Well, if it's okay, I will ask the committee. We do have another application. And I would be proposing that the committee meet on Thursday, September 24th at 9:00 a.m. if that works for everyone. If you could just, I think what will happen will be Alana will send
Works for me.
that's okay?
Yeah,
Should be good.
Okay,
work for me. Yeah, I've checked my calendar. It works for me. So, yeah.
great. Good.
All right. Then if there's no other business, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
I will do that.
Dave?
I'll second that.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, and we're adjourned.
Thank you.
See you in a
Yeah.
month. Bye.
Yes, all right.
Have a
Bye-bye.
good day.
Okay, everyone.
All right.
Bye.